Good afternoon. Welcome to Nana's Stamping Room. I jumped on here just a few minutes early because it's been a while since I did a video and I needed to get things lined up. I'm a little bit too far to the right, but we're going to leave it alone because it looks like I'm pretty straight, which is usually my problem. I come in crooked. And you can see the corner of my laptop, but that's just how it's going to be. I hope you're having a great 4th of July and that everybody is safe tonight setting off their fireworks or when they're going to watch fireworks. So, if you're here and if you can comment, Okay, I mute my laptop now so you don't hear me twice, 3 times, how many ever times it wants to do it. So, if you're here and you could comment, that would be great. Then I'll know that someone is watching. Sometimes I don't always notice right away because I'm looking down at the cards and I don't glance over, but I try hard to notice when somebody comes on. We just have like 2 more minutes before it is 1 o'clock here in Missouri and 2 o'clock in South Carolina where some of my customers live. So Eastern Time 2, Central Time 1. I enjoyed making these cards. I had a very busy June. That's why this June class is on July 4th. I took a vacation to see my 2 kids that live in Indiana and my granddaughters. And then my daughter had to have surgery, so I stayed with her an extra week. So it seems like my June just flew by. So I wanted to hop on here as soon as I could to do this class. I mailed out the packets Monday, and so I know that you might not have them yet, but now the video will be there and you can watch a replay and start and stop it wherever you need to catch up with me or to fast forward me if I'm going too slow. Okay, we got 1 minute and then we'll officially start. I'm very excited about these cards. Now, if you would have spent $50 with my hostess code in May, or more than $50, more than $150, then you get this class for free. So that's how you can get it for free. And I try very hard not to do any stamping. Now, I did stamp these birds, but I got the Winter Treetop DSP as a preview, and it's going to be in the Holiday Mini, and it had some birds, so I cut some birds out of it that you can fussy cut and use if you don't have the birdhouse die. Okay, we're going to get started. My name is Debbie Bratton, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Robert, Missouri. I'm here in Nana's Stamping Room this afternoon to show you how to make these 4 cards. So let's start with, let's see what's first in my basket. I have everything here in this basket. Hopefully everything I need in this basket to make these cards. Sometimes it doesn't quite work out that way, but I try my best. So let's start out with, we're going to start out with this one. I'll put these other 3 away. Now, when you get my card class, you get an envelope, and you always kind of want to pull out the card this way because there might be little things in there like the flowers. There's the flowers and all the pieces. Some gems here. Sometimes I usually put gems in a little bag like this, but when I was doing this last card, I couldn't find my little bag. I found everybody else's to put theirs in there, but I couldn't find mine, so I just stuck them in here with the card. And we know that I put an M on this envelope because this is mine, because this piece has a mark on it, but I'm going to cover it with the DSP or put it on this way, and so you won't even be able to see that. So let's start out first with using our bone folder to crease our card so that it lays as flat as it can. And then I'm gonna put this envelope over here because we don't need the envelope, we just need all the pieces. So we're gonna lay this over here for right now. We're gonna put these gems up here so that I don't knock them off by accident. So let's start with our piece of 5 1/4 by 4 white cardstock. So I'm going to use, you can use Stampin' Seal or tear and tape, or I'm going to use the mono adhesive glue. And I'm going to add these pieces. I have this piece on the bottom and this piece on the top. Now you want to have even borders all around, so it's going to overlap just a little. I just cut them that way so I can be sure and have them long enough. So that looks pretty good, and we're going to cover that up with the ribbon. So let's add our glue to the back of these. This paper is so pretty. This is Unbounded Love DSP. So we want to be sure there is an up and down way to this piece. Maybe, and maybe not. I just like the green leaves. They look like they should be going up. So I'm going to put this down here and leave a border at the bottom and on the right and the left. And then I'm going to take this piece and add some more adhesive. Now you don't want to get too much adhesive so you end up with a glob, because then that will make your card have a bump. So you just want to put a light layer. Okay, there. So now we go. Now we have an even border all the way around. So next what we're going to do is we're going to take our ribbon here and we're going to hide where they come together. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to put some tear and tape on the back. Let's see, I'm going to need 2 pieces waiting and 2 pieces to start with. This way I can just start putting on my ribbon and I don't have to stop to tear the tape. So I'm going to look right where this seam comes together and I'm going to put my adhesive right here. Or not my adhesive, but my tear and tape. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Kind of look at it this way so that I can see. Get my pick tool because it's just easier for me. And so you're not even going to see this black mark that I somehow got on there. I'm going to peel off this white paper. Remember, if you're here and watching, if you could say hello and let me know where you're from, that would be great. So now I'm going to stick this ribbon on to the tear and tape, take it across where they overlap, and then I have this just to be sure and hold down the ribbon. I just leave the paper on this time. You can take it off if you like. So now we have this piece. Somehow my ribbon got a little fold line in it, but hopefully when I put the pink on there, yes, that should cover it. I think I could also take it over to my heat tool and heat it a little, and it would help it flatten out. So this is cut with a deckled rectangle. And I am just going to add this right over, kind of centered, kind of maybe up a little because I want to have room to fit this down here and still see some of the designer paper. So we'll just move it up a little. So I'm going to add my adhesive to the back. Okay, there we go. I like to finish the whole card front before I glue it to my base. Just in case I make a mistake, I can maybe save it if it hasn't already been glued to the base. So next, I cut these out for you and I used the adhesive sheets. So they should be able to peel just like a sticker. Both the Poppin', the Petunia Pop, and the Summer Splash. So let me just see how I'm taking my picker tool and I'm going to pick this white layer off gently so that I don't tear it. It probably would have been better if I started at the end rather than at the top. Sometimes it's just a little bit hard to get this paper started. Here we go. I have it started now. So there we go. Now this is going to be the flower part. So we are going to just add this to our rectangle, kind of straight right in the middle. Straight as we can. And now it is glued down because it had the adhesive sheet on the back. Now we're going to take these stems and leaves and put it over this to make it look like a stem with some branches and leaves and flowers. Again, I'm just trying to get the white paper started. Sometimes it's really hard on these little bitty things, but it's so much easier than trying to add that mono adhesive in a little bitty line. So now we just I'm going to turn this sideways because it's easier for me to match it up. But I'm going to kind of put that stem there, that leaf. And push and press those down. Then I'm going to move on down to these leaves and press them down, and I'm just going to work my way down the flower. Kind of be sure that this covers up all the purple. Oh, I don't want to tear this bottom part. I got my finger stuck to it. So now this one goes here. This heart one goes there. These leaves come down here. Oh, and I'm just off a little bit right here. I'm gonna try to fix that. Oops. This one I still pressed down a little bit too far away. So let's see, I think I need to move this one in a little bit. Okay, so there we go. Now we have the leaves on top of the flower, and it looks like a whole branch of flowers. The next thing we're going to do is I cut this out. Now, I use Summer Splash ink. Let me find that. And I use the words out of the Thoughtful Wishes, which is thinking of you fondly. You can use whatever words you have, and if you don't have the Summer Splash ink, you could use Memento. So, find those words, find my block, it's really warm here in South Central Missouri, and we're supposed to get rain for tonight during the fireworks, but we were supposed to have rain all day and it has held off, so I'm hoping it can hold off this evening for all the people going to see the fireworks. Oh, now look what I did. I got a shadow in there, which I did not want to do, but it almost looks like I could change it into a branch with a flower at the end. Maybe I'll just, well, let me see what happens if I try it, because it almost kind of looks like a branch, and I could add a gem or something to the end to make it look like a flower, but we'll see if I can get it better on the back. This time I'm going to look, I'm not going to be talking. Okay. Sometimes these are so juicy and I press down just a little too hard and I get that shadow. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to use some dimensionals to pop this up. I'm going to use the larger dimensionals for this piece because it is big enough to handle them. And I'm just going to put 3. 1, 2, and 3. Take off the backs. I'm trying to keep all my little backs and paper from the tear and tape and the stickers right here so I can throw it away later. Otherwise, it somehow gets tracked all over the house sometimes. So I'm just going to kind of cover up the bottom of my branches because I wanted a little bit of the DSP to show down there. Now I'm ready to add this to the card base. And you can have this just as a friend card or someone's birthday, you know. I think that I did not cut this white the right size. It looks like I cut it 5.5 by 4. So if that happens, it's okay. If you want to, before you even start your card, to kind of measure it out to see and cut 1/4 of an inch off, but I'm just going to put it, and it's only going to have a border down both sides, but it still works. It'll still fit in the envelope. So there we go, and then I have the inside piece, which I had some inside pieces laying here. I had a whole, sometimes when I'm just watching TV or something, I sit and fill a baggie full of card insides. Here it is. See? Then I'm just ready. So, this could go inside, and if I wanted to, I could, perhaps I cut this at the wrong. Oh, you know what it is? I cut the card base at the wrong size. So, you might want to check your card base and your card fronts when you do this card. Hopefully it's only mine that I messed up, because look, this is going to be the same way. It's going to be 5 1/4, and that's what the card base is instead of 5 1/2. Perhaps that's another reason I wrote an M on the envelope for me. But if I wanted to, I could stamp some things in there. Here's the stamp set, Thoughtful Wishes, which is where I got the dies for this. And you could stamp these little flowers on the inside and color them in to match the Summer Splash. So, or you could just put these leaves in and stamp them in a summer splash or another green color that you have. So there we go, card number 1. So now I've made my, oh, you wait, bring back card number 1 because I forgot to add the gems. Now you will either have 2 small ones, 1 big one, or 2 big ones, 1 small one. That's just kind of how they came on the paper. So I'm going to put these up in the corner here. Now I also like to add Wink of Stella when I'm done, except for since this already has the glimmer paper, I'm thinking that I really don't need any Wink of Stella on this. But that could be up to you. You could put some Wink of Stella on the background pieces. You could Wink of Stella the rectangle before you put it together. So, here you go. It's all ready now. Okay, now let's move on to card number 2. This is card number 2. This is our fun fold for the month. We always try to do 1 fun fold. And this is a whole picture scene. It takes 2 pieces of the 6x6 Meandering Meadows DSP, and then you cut. You know, you cut these 2 from the first piece, you cut this one from the second piece, and then you line it all up so it makes a whole complete scene. So everybody's is going to be a different scene because I didn't have enough DSP for everybody's to be the same since you had to use 2 pieces. So your colors though will coordinate with your background. So my background this time is going to be Blackberry Bliss, and my layers are going to be Petal Pink. And this is right when I had to change the cutter on the blade on my cutter. Okay, so let's get these out. This is what I'm looking for. So what you want to do, first of all, is see how this side is already scored so that you can crease it. Now I could have scored the other side, but sometimes you're off just like by 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 of an inch. So if you wait and do it like this, for sure you have it so that they meet together perfectly. So this side didn't have a score line, but now it meets perfectly in the middle. Okay, so lay this aside for a moment. Now our next job is going to be to look at, because you have 3 pieces on the inside, 2 pieces on the outside. So what we have to figure out is which pieces go on the inside. So you're going to try to make your scene here. Like, can you tell that this piece was cut off here because it lines up almost perfect with the background mountains and everything? So now we just want to find what goes on this side. So this can go on this side. The mountains are lining up. And then let's see if these 2 can go on the front. These 2 can go on the front like this, because they kind of go together, but the path is more on this one than that one. Or if you wanted to, you could turn these over. Some of them have much prettier designs than just garden green here. So, you know, I'm trying to decide. I really think that this is how they went though, and they don't have to match up perfect, but you want them to match up pretty closely so that your mountains, that's what I look at the most, is the mountains. So what we're going to do is we're going to say these two are the outsides, and we're going to take our petal pink or whatever color your layers are, and we're going to glue these, and we're going to take this big one for the middle. And what I did was I cut your tag out of the middle of that, but it will be hidden when we get all the glue on it. So let's add some glue here. I hope you understand how I cut them. So that I watched Christine Bertram, she did a class on this, how she cut them to make the long seam. And so I tried to follow her pattern. Oh, now see how I got that big glob there? I do not really want that, because it will make a glob on the underneath the paper. So, since I forgot that this has the middle cut out, I'm going to glue this down first so that when I glue that on, it will not get on my glass mat. So I'm going to add some glue here. I should write down my steps when I'm doing these, and then this would not happen. And I know I'm down too far and you can't see, but for right now, I don't want to mess anything up. So I'll show you this. I just added some glue to the back around the hole, and I'm going to add it to the middle of the card. Now you're just going to have a little edge. A little of the Blackberry Bliss is going to show. So there we go. We have that piece in there. And now I'm going to add this piece to the top. Again, it's just going to be a very small petal pink layer. Oh, and I see I got a little glue here. So what I do is when this glue dries, I take my embossing buddy and I kind of tap it, which takes care of the sticky, or I have an eraser that works too. So now we decided that this piece goes on this side, so we're going to add it to this layer. And again, these have barely, it's 1/8 of an inch border, so really it's a 1/16 on each side, just so the picture looks more like it's one big mosaic. Now this is a brand new bottle of glue. Maybe if I squeeze too hard, I get globs, and then otherwise it doesn't want to come out today. Just one of those days. Okay, so here we go for this side. And now we decided, I got these mixed up now. I think I decided that this was, yes, that this was this side. That's the only thing you have to watch, is that your inside picture is looks like a continuous picture. I like this, and it was a good way to use up some of my meandering DSP because it's so pretty. You just hate to cover it with anything. It's kind of like you could just put it on the card front and add a greeting. Again, if anybody's here and watching, if you could say hello and let me know where you're from, that would be great. Okay, so now we're done with the inside, and it looks like this. And see how it looks like a complete picture. So now we're going to close it, and we're going to work on the outside. So like I said, yours might be, there's a lot of different colors on the back of these papers, and so you might like your colors more, but since this is just a green, I decided to go with um, the path. So you can see the mountain in the background there. It goes together and this makes the path. So that will work for our front. And you'll just have to play with your pieces until you figure out how they go together. But when I had them here, before I packed them up in their envelopes, I had them laid out. There's just no way I could keep them in the same order during mailing, because I'm sure they're going to shift around. Every month we do 3 cards and 1 fun fold. One month we did 2 fun folds because I was just having fun with fun folds that month, and I got 2. Now we're going to add this to the card base, and then we'll almost be done with all of our gluing. We still have a few more things to add, but the big part of our gluing is done. So we want to put this on the Blackberry Bliss, or whatever color your card base is. I thought that Blackberry Bliss went well with the petal pink. I know this glue can't already be gone. I just got these in the mail. This is the first time I've really used it. Oh, and then I go and make a big blob. So when that happens, I find a piece of scrap paper, which I hope I can find one quickly here. And I simply take it off. And then I drop it on the glass mat, and I have a big mess on the glass mat. But at least it's not on my card. And what I could do with that is, I always have this washcloth here to wipe off messes off my glass mat. Okay, now we're ready. Today must not be my day to glue things. Okay, so I got a little bit of glue up here too, so I'm just going to wipe it off because it keeps sticking. I'm going to tell you what really works good to get off the glue if you get it on your glass mat. It's hand sanitizer. You just add a little hand sanitizer. I see some there, some there. And then you can use a microfiber cloth, or I just have this washcloth that I have dedicated to my stamping room. And the hand sanitizer takes it right off. The other thing you could have is alcohol wipes. When I was at Walgreens yesterday, I could not find any alcohol wipes. Hi, Robin. Oh, where are you at from South Carolina? I used to live in Anderson, South Carolina. Christine, I want to say she did it. Christine's class with the, you can look because it's the Meandering Meadow one. I want to say it was maybe back in April or May. But maybe you could search it for, you know, the Meandering Meadow. Hopefully I didn't put this on. Oh, good. Here we go. So now we're going to do our belly band. Again, this is something that is only scored on one side. so that you can be sure that you don't want to make this too tight so that it's too hard to get off. So you kind of want to practice with it a little to be sure that it slides nicely. So I think that looks good. So I'm going to take some more of my glue and I'm going to be very careful with it. Oh, Seneca. Yes, I used to go to the Seneca Church of Christ when I was there. Lovely people. I moved back to Missouri to be closer to my daughter and grandkids. But I love living in Anderson. Okay, so I'm just going to put this, now this is going to be the belly band that holds it closed. I've got, and this is our circle that we're going to put on here. Stylish Shapes is what I cut that out of. And then I cut this out of the fancy, something fancy. That's where these two came from. So let me find my something fancy stamp set. And I'm going to put with Deepest Sympathy on this. I think that this would make a good sympathy card. So let me find that in here. Put it on a block. And you know, another thing you can do, which I really need to do for mine, is you can clean your blocks with the hand sanitizer or the alcohol wipes. I just couldn't find any. I know I wasn't looking in the right place. And I was kind of in a hurry the other day when I was at Walgreens. Because we used to have some. My husband used to, when he'd be in the hospital and come home, they used to give us some little, they were like squares. And it just makes it convenient for you to have them right here where you're sitting. Okay, so I'm going to try this, see if I can get it straight the first time. Got it straight with no shadows. And now all we have to do is put this all together. I'm going to take a second here to try to get some of the glue off my fingers because I feel like I'm sticking to everything. I think I'm going to change to my Stamp and Seal to do this part. So, we're going to put this Petal Pink label to hide where it comes together. Oh, not this yet. Good thing I didn't press it down yet. I have the circle. And I have the ribbon that goes on the belly band. I need to write down my directions to myself. You know, it's been like a month since I did a live video, so that's probably why I am messing up my steps here. So what I do is I just put some glue dots at each end of this ribbon because it'll be hidden underneath the circle. And I'm just going to start here at the front. You could put one in the back too if you want it to. Except for it kind of wants to, you know, this is very, has little holes in the ribbon so the stickiness might come through. And I was just be sure to give you enough so you could trim it. And then I'm going to put another glue dot on this end. Okay, then I'm going to take this circle use my Stampin' Seal, put it here on the back. Now I can put this label on here. I can add some Stampin' Seal for the back of this. Okay. Now, before we put the belly band on, I'm going to show you what you want to do. In your little bag of gems, you have some doves, is what I'm going to call them, little birds. It also comes with dragonflies, but I've already used all my dragonflies, so we're using up the doves now. So let me get them out of here. And I'm going to change my Pica tool to be this instead of the poker. I have the spatula on the end of it so that I can add the bird. I'm just going to kind of add the birds in this middle frame, flying around in the sky. And you should always do an odd number of embellishments because that's what they say when you take like a painting class or something. You should always have odd numbers. So there we go. Fold this up. Stick this in our belly band. And then, I know I put a purple gem on this one, but it doesn't really match well. And since everybody had different colors, I just put one of these white or iridescent sequins for you to put here on your tag. And where you would put your inside, instead of having an inside, we have the back. So you would add this to the back of your card, and there you could sign it and everything and send a message. Thank you so much, Robin. I had a fun time making them. And these are for people who spent $50 in May and used my hostess code. And I got behind in June because I was on vacation and things like that. So I'm having my June class on July 4th. Okay, so let's see what card number 3 is going to look like. Okay, this is card number 3. Now again, yours are going to be different colors because I used all the in colors, all the 5 in colors: Shy, Shamrock, Summer Splash, Petunia Pop, Pretty in Pink, and Peach Pie. And I also changed it, so I'll show you. Because I decided I kind of like the monochromatic look, but it looks so much better when you make them be different colors, and then they really pop off. So you will still have in colors. Both colors are in colors. And see how this is a bird that I cut out of the winter top paper that's going to be in the holiday mini starting in September, because I didn't know if everybody had this set so they could. I can't stamp anything for you. So if you have the stamp set, you can stamp the bird and color it in. I used my, let me find it here. My desk is a mess. My blending pen and the ink pad to color mine in because I didn't have the markers yet. So that's how I got the color in there. And you know, it was just laying here, but it's gone now. But I also sent you this bird because it's a pretty neutral bird and you could cut it out and use that. So this is thick white cardstock as our base. And we're just going to crease it because that's always our first step. And then this is the Peach Pie in color. And I embossed it with the exposed brick embossing folder, so that's just going to go on the back here. And then we're going to build our birdhouse. Now, like I said, your birdhouse is going to be probably a different color on mine than mine because I just mixed and matched all the different colors together. So you can either make your birdhouse be this side, which has kind of like leaves and flowers, or you can make your birdhouse have stripes. I'm just going to go ahead with the stripes again. And we're going to start building our birdhouse. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put on this piece, the solid piece. And you can see that there's marks here right where it should go. That lines up perfect. So I'm just going to use a little bit of Stampin' Seal. Now I'm gonna have to use the hand sanitizer on my glass mat again. But it saves a lot of extra, I don't have to buy the grid paper now that I used to lay down to catch everything, because I can just clean this off. So now the next part we're gonna do is this, I call it the ruffly part. And I switch it around so it wasn't stripes, but if you want to have stripes, you could put it this way. But I popped it up with our adhesive strips. So you should have 2 adhesive strips in your envelope, although I only see 1 in mine. But that's because the other one is still in the envelope. Okay, so I'm just going to take, and I made them to be bigger than what you need so that you can just trim them off. So I'm going to stick this down and I'm going to trim this off, not with my ribbon scissors, with my other pair of snips. Okay, then I take this paper off, and then we're going to get these out of the way so we don't get them stuck on anything. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. I am just having trouble with glue today, no matter what kind of glue I use. I'm telling you, these go together so easy when I'm just sitting here doing them by myself at night. We're going to come down this side, and I'm going to cut this off. Look at that, I got a piece stuck to my nail. Then I'm going to add this. Again, it shows you right where the little scallops should go at the bottom. There we go. That just gives that a little height. It kind of makes it look more 3D. Now, if you want to, you can add this piece of white up here. But I don't think I'm going to on this one because you can't really see it that much. It kind of just fills in a little, but I'm thinking that maybe it looks okay without it too. Or maybe I can get it to stick to the sides of the sticky strip. Oh, yes it did. So there you go. Mine just stuck to the edge of the sticky strip that shows. Next, I gave myself 2 circles. Maybe I gave you 2 circles too. I'm not sure. But that's to put behind the hole. And I'm just going to take a little bit of glue, mono-adhesive glue. Something is definitely wrong. Either my hands are very weak today and I can't squeeze it out, or I used more than I thought the other day. So I'm just going to kind of put this over the hole on the back. And I did get some glue squeezing out the front here, so I'm just going to wipe that off and take my embossing buddy. This is why I have my embossing buddy sitting right by my glass mat, so I can be sure and take care of any sticky. So, I'm going to take off this glue right here too, so that I don't end up sticking myself in it. Alright. So there we go. Then this piece goes on the bottom here. Just going to put some Stampin' Seal right there. This one goes together much faster than the last one we did, but we always have one that takes us a little while, and then some that are quick. Okay, so you might notice this ribbon that I put in here. I made some other cards, and I had a whole bunch, and I had frayed the ribbon, but then I ended up with a bunch of the ends of the ribbon, so that's why I decided to make this card just to add some little ribbon to the bottom. So I have some peach pie. See what I mean? I frayed it, and I used all those little strings to put behind an item. So for this, I'm just going to put this over. I'm going to put a line of Stampin' Seal back here. And I'm just going to let the fringe part show. And it's mostly just for decoration. So now I'm going to add this to the back, my card front. Right here in the middle. Okay, like I said, you have this bird that you can fussy cut out, or if you have this set, you could stamp and color it in with the blender pens using the ink, or maybe you have the marker or the Stampin' Blends of this color. I did not when I made this card, so that's why I improvised with the blender pen and the ink pad, because that's how we used to do it before we had blends and well, I've always had markers. But okay, so see, that's gonna look perfect there on the outside. You can kind of put it up here, put him up here a little bit maybe, so his feet aren't, because he doesn't have any feet, but they could just be tucked inside. So I'm just gonna stamp him up with a mini dimensional. I really love our new ink colors this summer. They're so nice and bright. Now I am going to use some mono adhesive because I like to when I have something embossed, because it has so much texture that the glue kind of gets into all the little places better than the Stampin' Seal. So here we go, and then I don't have an inside for this one since it is already white. Now some people go ahead and still put in another one, but I would probably stamp my bird. Here's the stamp set. I would probably stamp a bird in the corner of one and maybe some of these, maybe one of these flowers, or maybe even some speckles here. These are if you wanted to stamp on your scalloped edges. If it was white or something, you could stamp some color on the scalloped edges. Now the only thing we have left is adding our Wink of Stella and some jewels. So in your package I gave you some silver ones and some gold ones. I think I'm getting, it doesn't really matter which. The next card is also a birdhouse. Excuse me. So you can use whichever color. I think I'm going to use the silver ones this time. And I'm just going to kind of place them around the birdhouse. Thank you, Robin. I love the new birdhouse set. It's like I just keep making these birdhouse cards. Okay, and let's see, if I want to put some Wink of Stella, I might put some up here on the roof. Wink of Stella is kind of hard to see on a video. And maybe some down here on the bottom. Just bling it up in different places, because your card always needs some bling and a little shimmer. Okay, there we go. Card number 3 finished. We're just moving right along. Let me move out all these little pieces. Now I'm on the last card. And this is my most fun card. It is a mini birdhouse. So I wanted to show you. Let me get the dies for the birdhouse. You know, you just used something just a few minutes ago, and then you just wonder, what could I have done with the dies? Because I thought I had everything laid out here for me. Okay. I'm not going to waste any more time. So how you would do it, this is thick. I use thick just to make it be a sturdy card. And I cut it at, I didn't cut it at all. This is a whole piece. I scored it at 4 1/4 down the middle. And then I creased it well. And then I took the die and I let the edge of the roof just go right off the edge, the folded edge, so that you end up with an edge like this. So you just want the edge to hang off just a tad. You know, if you do it bigger, it's going to be a little bit bigger and it might not fold right, but when you turn it over, you'll just be able to see the very edge of it. I really wish I could find my birdhouse things. But you could do the same, you know, just practice, and you can get 3. Well, the third one's going to have a corner cut off at its bottom, but I just went ahead and cut a new white one and put it there, and I got 3 out of it, 1 sheet. And so, again, this is mine. Mine, because I have the bottom cut like that. So, we have the card base. We have our flowers. We have our bird to cut out, the bottom, all the pieces. Okay, again, I made these be stickers with this adhesive on the back. Yes, it'll be on Facebook to watch anytime. Hope you have a good 4th of July. Thanks for coming. So, let's start here. We'll start with the base. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue our birdhouse base to the front of the card. Actually, that's probably not the first thing we would do, because if we... Oh, you know what I forgot to do for you guys? I forgot to cut the hole in the base, so your bird's not going to peek out unless you have a circle die big enough to do that. So what we could do, let me see. Sorry about that. I forgot, I cut the hole in the birdhouse, but I forgot to go back and cut it. Let me cut this bird out real quick. Again, on my sample, it's the bird from the stamp set, but I know that some of you may not have it, and I can't stamp images for you. So when I got this paper early, sometimes when you're a demonstrator, you get things early. We could order this paper from the Holiday Mini early. So now, if I wanted to, I could still just add this bird to the back to trim off his tail. He just wouldn't be on the inside, and you'd have more room to write your message on the inside. So that's what I'm going to do. I just put a little piece of Stampin' Seal there. And I'm going to stick the bird on there so that just his face kind of shows through, how much ever you want him to. Kind of like that. And then I'm going to trim off his tail, because nobody will know. And then I'm going to add this to the card base. This might be a better way to do it anyway. That way it gives you more room to write on the inside. I think you could use these for tags. Or if you wanted to, you could make one and add it to a card front. And just have this as the main focal point on the front of the card, and it would open up with your message. Or you could just put it as a tag on a gift. Okay, so now I have, and you can cut these birdhouses out 3 at a time. So you could do 3 different colors, or, designs. So what I do is I cut some out, and then I keep them in this little box. See, like I have some that are this color, and this color, and then I have another one of these. I have all these little different pieces that go with them, so you can kind of mix and match them. So the next part we're going to do is we're going to put on our bottom piece, and I chose to use the Early Espresso side, but if you would rather have this wood side, you can. It's entirely up to you. And now we're going to put this Early Espresso side up here. Oh, I have 2. Now I hope somebody is not missing one. If you're missing one in your packet, I will mail you one if you let me know. Okay, so I put that one there, and then this scalloped one I'm going to put underneath it. And I want the white side to show, so you can see a contrast between the 2 pieces. So now to make this look more 3D, we're going to take a blend or a regular marker. I have my black, basic black regular Stampin' Write marker here. And I'm just gonna see how I kind of followed it along, how it went like this. And that kind of makes it look like a shadow underneath there, which gives it the look, gives it more of a 3D look without using the adhesive strips. There you go. Can you kind of see now that makes it look like a shadow there? And you could do the same thing in between here if you wanted to, but since this is already such a dark color, I think it's a good contrast without it. Now again, these flowers are the same ones that we did before. So this time we're going to peel off the back of the green first. Okay, here we go. And we're going to put it together just like we did with the glimmer paper. I start at the top and kind of work my way down. It's kind of hard to do it when you can't put your head right over it. That's okay. I'm going to move this over a little. So you just kind of want to have the green cover the purple, except for the flower parts. I'm going to take this green piece here and add it underneath this flower and pull it up so it covers this leaf. Kind of get this out of there so I can maneuver it better. This piece kind of got out of position. There we go. It just takes a little bit of moving. So now this whole flower is not going to fit here. It's going to be too big. If it hangs off too much, you're not going to be able to have your birdhouse stand. So what I did is I cut it right down here. You can cut it wherever you like. I just kind of cut it right there so that I just have this top piece for here. And then I cut off this piece that's hanging out over here, and I'm going to have to fix the green leaves on this other piece. And I have that coming here, and this piece stays just like it is, except for it has the green covering the purple. Okay, and then like I said, this is a sticker, so I could just peel off the back of the purple. And it will be a sticker, and I can stick it wherever I like. So I'm going to kind of stick this one going this way, so it's not covering up my bird. I'm going to take this one and you could save some of these to put on the inside if you want to. It's entirely up to you. It's a little hard sometimes to get that white. Once you get it started, it's easier, but it's just getting it started. Okay, then this piece can go here. You just don't want to go below your base here, otherwise it's not going to stand pretty. So now we just have to get the white off this purple, or Petunia Pop. I want to say Pop and Petunia, but it's Petunia Pop. And this could go right down here. And there we have. Now, like I said, you could put, since we didn't put a hole through it, you could put a whole message in here, or just sign your name in here, put a greeting in there. And now I have these gold embellishments left. These are, I think they're called pearlized pearls or something. Enamel pearls, maybe. So I'm going to put one there. One here and one over here. And for my Wink of Stella, I'm going to do the roof again of my birdhouse. And since you cut out your bird, you could even do your bird. I didn't do my bird because it's I didn't want it to smear if I got it wet with the Wink of Stella. So there, I just added some bling. And there we go, card number 4. Thank you so much for joining me, and if you're watching the replay, thank you so much for coming back. If you have any questions, I check my comments, or you can Facebook message me. I hope you have a great rest of your day and a happy 4th of July to you. Bye.